With this mask of seeming virtue, the dragon pretended to establish his damnable counsels and cover himself with the skin of a sheep, while in reality he acted as a bloodthirsty and devouring wolf. He persevered for some time in this attack, and all alone I remained for 15 days in a night of darkness, without relief or consolation either human or divine. Without the former, because I was without the help and counsel of obedience, and without the latter, because the Lord had interrupted the flow of his favors, his enlightenments, and continual inspiration. Above all, was I distressed by despair of salvation, and in it the persuasion that death and the danger of my eternal damnation was approaching. All this was instigated and fostered in me by the enemy. But as the aftertastes of his temptations are so bitter and end but in despair, the very disturbance by which he upset the whole republic of my powers and acquired habits made me more wary of fulfilling anything which he urged on me and proposed to me. He availed himself of the continual fear which tormented me with the dread of offending God and of losing his friendship, and when, in my doubts, I applied myself to works of piety, he sought to draw me away. This very fear, however, made me hesitate at what the astute dragon had tried to convince me of, and in this uncertainty I deferred giving assent to it. My high regard for obedience also, by which I had been ordered to write, and the contraries of that which I felt in my interior, helped me to resist and to recoil at his suggestions. Above all, the assistance of the Most High defended me, and permitted not the beasts to snatch my soul, which, amid sighs and groans, confessed him. I cannot describe in words the temptations, combats, troubles, dismays, and afflictions which I suffered in this battle, for I saw myself placed in such a state that in my judgment there was really no greater difference between my condition and that of the damned, except that in hell there is no redemption, while in mine it was still possible. One day, in order to get some respite, I cried out from the bottom of my heart, saying, "O woe is me, that I have come to such a state, and woe to my soul which finds itself therein. Whither shall I turn, since all the portals of my salvation are closed?" Immediately a strong and sweet voice gave answer within myself, "Whither dost thou wish to go outside of God himself?" By this answer I perceived that my cure was at hand in the Lord, and at the breaking of this dawn I began to raise myself from the depth of the confusion into which I was cast, and I felt a powerful increase in the fervor of my desires and in the acts of faith, hope, and charity. I debased myself in the presence of the Most High, and, in firm confidence of his goodness, I wept over my faults with bitter sorrow. I confessed them many times, and sighing from the depth of heart, I began to seek again the former light and truth. And as the divine wisdom comes forth to meet those by whom it is invoked, it advanced toward me in delight, and cleared away the night of my confusion and tormenting afflictions. Presently, that bright day broke, which I had desired so much. The quiet possession of peace returned. I enjoyed the sweet love and vision of my Lord and Master, and with it I again perceived why I should believe, accept, and esteem the benefits and favors which his mighty arm wrought in me. I gave him thanks as far as was in my power, and I saw who I was, and who God is, that a creature by itself can do nothing, that it is nothing, because sin is nothing. I saw also what man can do when raised up and assisted up by the divine right hand, being much more than can be imagined by our earthly faculties. Humbled in the perception of these truths and in the presence of the inaccessible light, which is vast and strong without deceit or falsehood, my heart flowed over in sweet affections of love, praise, and thanksgiving. For now I understood that he had guarded and defended me, so that in the confused night of temptations my lamp might not be extinguished. And in the depth of my gratitude I annihilated myself to the dust and humiliated myself as a worm of the earth.